getting it done, making an announcement for a fourth.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has had enough. He's fed up with watching NASCAR make decisions that feel more like corporate ploys than moves for the fans. And this latest move? It might be the final straw. The word on the street? Honda is in talks to become the fourth O.E.M. in NASCAR. Honda, a company with zero history in stock car racing, suddenly being considered for a spot among the elite? Dale Jr. can't believe it. When he heard the news, it wasn't just disappointment that surfaced, it was fury. How could NASCAR even consider such a ridiculous idea? The sport has always been rooted in American muscle and heritage, with Ford, Chevy, and Dodge making up the backbone. But now, it's all about global appeal, and the sport is willing to sacrifice its identity to chase foreign money. Dale Jr. isn't mincing words here. This isn't just another manufacturer. This is a full-scale sellout of NASCAR's legacy. And he's not sitting back quietly this time. He's furious, and he's making sure everyone knows it. The sport he loves? It's teetering on the edge of losing everything that made it special. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is watching it all happen, unwilling to stay silent. NASCAR's recent flirtation with a fourth O.E.M. manufacturer was supposed to be a big deal, but this is not what fans had in mind. For months, NASCAR teased the idea of a new manufacturer, and the expectation was clear: Dodge, right? Fans were ready for it. Dodge had roots in NASCAR, deep history, and a presence that would reignite the sport. Instead, NASCAR drops the bombshell: Honda. Honda? Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't hold back, and he made it crystal clear: this move is an absolute slap in the face. While NASCAR President Steve Phelps tossed out vague comments like, "We have an O.E.M. that is close," fans were hoping for a long overdue return of Dodge. Instead, NASCAR pulled a stunt that has left everyone shaking their heads. Honda, a company known for its presence in Formula One and IndyCar, has absolutely no connection to the heart and soul of stock car racing. Why Honda? Dale Jr. asked bluntly, and it's a valid question. What exactly is NASCAR thinking? The idea of another foreign brand, one with zero history in NASCAR, joining the fold seems absurd to fans who've stuck by American brands through thick and thin. What's next? Are we going to see hybrids and electric cars on the track? This is a company that built the sport on raw power, V8 engines, and carburetors, an identity forged by American manufacturers like Chevy and Ford. Honda doesn't fit. It's the epitome of everything NASCAR wasn't supposed to become. Fans are outraged, and Dale Jr. is furious that the sport's integrity is being traded for a global appeal that only threatens to tear the fabric of NASCAR apart. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is beyond furious. The news that Honda could join NASCAR has pushed him to the brink, and now he's not holding back. This isn't just a disagreement, it's an outright condemnation of NASCAR's direction. Dale Jr. didn't mince words. This is a disaster. His words cut deep, aimed directly at the heart of NASCAR's misguided attempt to modernize. Honda's potential entry into the sport is the last straw for Dale Jr. It's not just a new car manufacturer, it's a betrayal of everything NASCAR used to stand for. "I'm not going to like any of it," Dale Jr. bluntly said. The fear that NASCAR would have to make drastic changes just to accommodate a brand like Honda is real. What are they willing to sacrifice just to bring them in? The idea of hybrid engines or less horsepower is enough to make any true NASCAR fan shudder. The main concern for me is, what are we willing to do to get them in? Oh man, I'm not going to like any of it. Is it hybrid engines? Is it less horsepower? What is their hesitation? In NASCAR, we've had V8 engines and carburetors forever. That's kind of American. You got to be careful about how you evolve away from that, Dale Jr. stated, making it clear just how strongly he feels about NASCAR's direction. His concerns aren't just about Honda, they're about what it means for the entire future of the sport. This isn't just about one decision, it's about the future of stock car racing. Introducing a foreign manufacturer with no roots in the sport feels like an all-out betrayal of NASCAR's very foundation. What's next? Dale Jr. asked. Will NASCAR start changing core aspects of the sport to appease corporate interests? This is a race for money, not integrity. Dale Jr. isn't about to stand idly by while the sport he loves is hijacked. In NASCAR, we've had V8 engines and carburetors forever, he said, sounding the alarm about the sport's changing identity. Fans don't want hybrid engines and quieter cars. They want the roaring power of NASCAR. Honda? It's a symbol of everything the sport was never meant to be, and Dale Jr. is not having it. As expected, the backlash from fans has been nothing short of explosive. Dale Jr. isn't the only one fuming. NASCAR fans, who have loyally supported the sport for decades, are furious over the potential addition of Honda. This isn't just a casual debate, it's an all-out war over the soul of the sport. And the fans are demanding answers. The question that's been echoing through social media, and the one on the minds of countless longtime NASCAR fans is this still NASCAR? That's the burning question, and it's coming from fans who are sick and tired of seeing their sport sold out for corporate gain. For these fans, Honda doesn't belong. It's a slap in the face, a clear message that NASCAR is more interested in appeasing global markets than honoring the legacy of American-made muscle cars that built the sport. I've been watching this sport since I was a kid, and now they want to bring in Honda? Are they out of their minds? A fan wrote online, and that sentiment is widespread. The outrage is palpable as the sport that once championed American ingenuity seems to be turning its back on everything that made it great. It's about more than just a foreign brand entering the picture. Fans are terrified that this could be the first step in a wave of changes that could reshape NASCAR into something unrecognizable. They fear hybrid engines, lower horsepower, and quieter cars in the name of eco-friendly progress. But that's not NASCAR's identity. Fans don't want watered-down versions of the sport they've loved for decades. They want the raw, untamed power of V8 engines, and they'll never accept a watered-down version of the NASCAR they grew up with. The outrage is real, and NASCAR needs to pay attention before they lose everything. This is their wake-up call. NASCAR is at a crossroads, and the decision to bring in Honda could be the moment that defines the sport's future, if it even has one. The core identity of NASCAR is now under threat, and the sport is facing a crucial test: stick to its roots or chase an uncertain, corporate-driven future. For decades, NASCAR has thrived on its unique American identity: raw power, loud V8 engines, and brands like Ford, Chevy, and Dodge that embodied American engineering and muscle. The thought of Honda, a company with no real history in NASCAR, entering the fold is seen by many as an existential threat to everything the sport once stood for. Yes, Toyota, a Japanese brand, has been in NASCAR since 2007, but they came in with an established American manufacturing presence, and their entry didn't feel as disruptive to the sport's core values. Honda, on the other hand, is closely tied to other racing series like Formula One and IndyCar, but they have no deep roots in stock car racing. That difference is stark, and it's what stokes the fire for fans and figures like Dale Jr. He sees the writing on the wall. He's not just concerned about the current move, he's worried about what could follow. Once you change something fundamental like this, you can't just go back, Dale Jr. warned. It's not just about Honda, it's about a sport that could lose its soul in the name of progress. Fans are already questioning what other changes will follow. Will NASCAR go even further, sacrificing more of its heritage for a bigger, more diverse manufacturer base? What's next? If NASCAR doesn't start listening to its fans and reconsider its current direction, it could find itself losing everything that made it great. The outcry is loud and clear, and if NASCAR doesn't take this seriously, the future of the sport could be irreparably damaged. The clock is ticking. Dale Earnhardt Jr. isn't just venting, he's sending a final warning to NASCAR. The sport is teetering on the edge of losing its identity, and if the powers that be don't take a step back and reconsider, they could irreparably damage everything NASCAR stands for. The decision to even consider Honda feels like a betrayal of the fans who've supported the sport through thick and thin, and it's time for NASCAR to make a choice: stay true to its roots or risk alienating an entire generation of fans. The future of NASCAR hangs in the balance. The sport's very survival depends on whether it listens to the outrage and demands for change. Fans aren't going to wait forever. NASCAR needs to turn this around, and fast, before it's too late. So, what will NASCAR do next? Will they listen to the fans, or are we witnessing the end of the sport as we know it? Sound off in the comments below and let us know your thoughts.